a low-fat powdered milk. Although I know it exists and they have it, it just is not, it's not very common and it's not very popular. And the non-fats store a lot better and a lot longer. So when people buy them for food storage, it's all tastes like skim milk. It's equivalent. Now, here's the great thing, though. I know, I saw you shudder and said, ooh. You can fake yourself out, and you can fake the taste of it by adding more powdered milk than it calls for in relationship to the water. So if it says, you know, you need a cup of water to a quarter, I can't remember the exact one for this milk. Yeah, just add a little extra, and you can get it a little thicker and a little creamier. On this chocolate milk, there are 5 cups to 1 gallon. But it fakes kind of the thicker, creamier kind of taste. So don't just think you have to make it up and say, oh, this is skim milk, this is what we're left with. No, you can add extra and just play with it. Find the consistency that you like. It'll go a little faster that way. It won't, you know, stretch as far.
So if you get the cans, how long can you expect them to be good on the shelf?
You know, milk has a much longer shelf life than eggs. Now, I have been experimenting with milk for a long time. I have had milk that's 13 years old. I've opened it, and it's been perfect. I am now consistently using and rotating milk. I'm getting better at it, and I'm using my milk that's 2003, and it's 7 years old, and it is perfect. So easily 15 years. Easily 15 years out of it.
Some good points that I found about the Humboldt milk.
Yeah.
It mixes like instant, but you can cook with it like non-instant. Because the difference is the instant's like granular and it takes up a lot more space. So I have this white sauce recipe that I use. And you have to mix it differently if it's the instant. Because it is instant, but it's not. I mean, it mixes and it tastes good.
Interesting.
But you can cook with it in the same measurements as non-instant.
And I find you can use the instant milk for fluid milk in any recipe. You can make it up. You can even do just like you did the egg. You can put the powdered in the dry section, and you can put the additional liquid in the liquid section. I have found that the crossover makes absolutely no difference at all. Okay, so tell me what you think about the milk. Does it taste like real milk? See, I tell you, aren't we so glad we live in this day? Technology has brought our food a long ways. Yes, and here and then there.
We have a lot, because I have a lot of regular milk from the cannery already stored. If you get those pitchers, you know, that go.
Oh yeah, the mixer pitchers.
Will they mix that?
They do. It does mix it better. You know what? When we were testing our milk, we found in baking, you really could not tell a difference. It was mainly in non-baked foods. So when we made smoothies or orange Julius's, if we made it up into chocolate milk or the regular milk, we could tell a difference between the instant and the non-instant. And for flavor, hands down, the instant milk won every time. Every time. Okay, hold on, right here.
Is it vitamin D fortified?
A lot of them are. I'm not as familiar with the Humboldt. Are they vitamin A and D fortified?
I have no idea. Girls?
Okay, it should
members?
be. Now, I'll tell you, even though it's good to have the vitamins A and D, and a lot of the milks are fortified, and you can see some, like I know Emergency Essentials sells one, they'll say this one's not fortified, but this one is. You're storing your milk for your calcium. That is why you're storing your milk. Young children, elderly, nursing, pregnant, if you were to go live on your food storage, your milk needs would be absolutely critical, especially for those growing children. So when you're storing the milk, you're storing it for calcium. The A and Ds are great, but those vitamins tend also to be a little bit more volatile, where they will lose their nutrition a little quicker. So yes, if you're going to ask me, get the ones that are fortified. But remember, it's your calcium is the reason you're storing it.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I think we need to go over here first.
Okay, Western Family instant milk, we use 1 1/3 to make a quart of milk. But powdered milk, you use 2/3 of a cup, right?
It's different for regular and instant.
So
Yes.
these recipes,
That is for the Humboldt milk.
all these recipes are for the Humboldt milk, whether you say
Well, or
instant
instant. Well, they're all for the instant milk. They're all for the instant. And usually they cross over, and most instant milks are pretty standard in the way they mix up. But that standard is different than regular milk. So no matter what brand you use, that's a pretty standard measurement. But you know what, when you have the can, just follow the directions. And you know what, there's no rules. Really, there's no rules. If you want to add a little more milk because you like it a little thicker and a little creamier taste, add it.
So, you know if it has the DHT in it, the bovine growth hormone in it?
I don't know on that because I'm not as familiar with the Humboldt. That's something that's quite unique to this steak. Sherry has done a lot of research, and she brings it in bulk, and then she outsources it to have it canned, simply because she can get the price for you way down, which is a huge advantage because milk can be, kind of expensive. But as far as taste and nutrition, I mean, I think it's comparable to everything. So I don't know about that specifically.
People in my ward raised their kids on it. Like, there are several families in our ward that, raised their kids on it, had a conniption fit when they couldn't get it anymore. The reason we do Humboldt milk is because you can't just bring it in. You personally are not going to bring it in. The only way we can do it is because we do it as a steak. That's the only way. So
You can't buy like
you cannot buy it. You cannot. Walton Feed used to carry it. They do not carry it anymore. You have to bring it in serious bulk.
It's a commodity.
It is a commodity. Every time I order it, it goes up in between the price.
But it is a huge advantage, and I've tried the milk with other milks and everything, and it's a very good milk. You're getting a very, very good product. So what did you think about the chocolate milk? It was delicious. Now, one reason I love that chocolate milk is because, one, it's non-fat, and two, it doesn't have all of the other stuff. If you look at store-bought milk and see what it has in it, this is truly milk, sugar, Dutch cocoa, vanilla, and a pinch of salt. All of that. And you know what? I would put that up to store-bought any day. Any day. I think that is great chocolate milk.
If you use, if you're diabetic, you can use a blender cup per cup as you would sugar.
Okay, and I haven't ever used the Splenda, and especially in the chocolate milk, but if that's true, I would try it. I would try it and put it in. I think it's very good.
So, aside from the Humboldt, are there other brands of milk that you like?
I love the Humboldt, don't get me wrong, but because we only bring it in, my other favorite is Country Cream. I've done taste tests with women. I've had them in my kitchen. I've had other wards do taste tests. When they come back, now, granted, they don't have the Humboldt in their arsenal of what they're trying. Country Cream comes back #1 every time. So personally, if you're going to ask me, I go Country Cream. But when I compare this with the Country Cream, they are both excellent. They are both excellent.
Which
I would
one
take
is
that
more
Humboldt.
expensive?
The Country Cream is. The Humboldt, because Sherry's bringing it in huge bulk and then outsourcing it to have it canned in number 10 cans, you're getting a huge deal. What is the number 10 can on there? Oh, and they're in 8. So what are they about per can? I can't remember.
8 divided by 71 divided by 8.
So about $9. Yeah. If you don't get the Country Cream on sale, you're paying $14.99. Once in a while, it goes to $12.99. I've seen it on a huge, like on the Macy's for $9.99, and I called them up very quickly, and they said they're using that as a loss leader because that is below the cost that we sold it to them. So once in a while, they'll use it as a loss leader, and if you get it for $9.99, you're getting a good deal. But normally, if you go back, you're anywhere between $12.99 and $14.99 a can on Country Cream. I know that Country Cream is 3.2 pounds. Does she have the pounds on there? Okay. She'll probably know that. I don't know where she is. Okay, so let's move on very quickly. Okay, so what can you do with your powdered milk? You can make it into milk. You can make it into chocolate milk. Has anybody ever made like canned milk or sweetened condensed milk out of their milk? Who's been to the grocery store lately and bought a can of sweetened condensed milk? That's a good price if you're getting it for $1.50. They are usually like $2.89, almost $3, on those. And they are very, very sweet, but they're expensive. Now, when I put out this for testing, I have people make this recipe and then use it in foods that